ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
Right. Good morning. Welcome back. So today we are going to study few problems on photoelectric effect. The first one, for the photoelectric effect, the maximum kinetic energy of the emitted photoelectrons is plotted against the frequency of incident photons as shown in the figure. So this is the graph given here. Maximum kinetic energy versus frequency. This is the frequency of incident light, maximum kinetic energy or kinetic energy of emitted photoelectrons. So what you have to find is the slope of the curve gives options. Option A, charge of electron. Option B, work function of metal. Option C, Planck's constant. Option D, ratio of Planck's constant to electronic charge. Now let us identify the variables, kinetic energy versus frequency. So you have to identify an equation which gives the relation between kinetic energy and frequency of incident photons or incident radiation. So what is the equation that gives the relation between kinetic energy and frequency? So in the last class we have studied that the energy of photon is used in two ways, that is to overcome the nuclear attraction force, which we represent with pi or W, that is up to you. So work function plus maximum kinetic energy. Right. So we require equation in terms of frequency. So let us write in terms of frequency. H nu equal to H nu naught plus kinetic energy. So kinetic energy is taken on y axis. So I am writing on left hand side. Kinetic energy equal to what I will get? H nu minus H nu naught. Sending H nu naught other side. So this is of the type equation y equal to mx plus c, mx minus c, sorry, y equal to mx minus c. So what we have to do is we have to identify the slope. As you can see, on y axis we got kinetic energy, here it is represented as E subscript k, kinetic energy. On x axis we are taking frequency of incident radiation. So the slope corresponds to the numerical value there, the slope corresponds to the constant h. Now h is nothing but Planck's constant. So slope equal to h, which is nothing but Planck's constant. So what is the correct option? The correct option is option C. Right, next question. Which of the following plot is correct about kinetic energy of photoelectrons? So if you see, there are four options given. Option A, the graph is between kinetic energy and intensity of incident radiation. Second one, kinetic energy versus frequency of incident radiation. Kinetic energy versus wavelength of incident radiation. Kinetic energy versus surface area of the metal. So we are going to study here the relation of photoelectrons, kinetic energy of photoelectrons and other variables. In the last class what we have studied is, so when you increase intensity of incident radiation, when you what do you mean by increasing the intensity? Increasing the intensity means emitting more number of photons with the same energy or frequency. So if energy of photon is say 2 calories, each photon energy is 2 calories. How many photons are emitted here? 6 photons. When I increase the intensity, I am increasing intensity, let us say increasing intensity. Then what happens? More number of photons are emitted or available, but energy of photon will remain same. So here how many photons are emitted per unit time? 6 photons. So what happens if I increase the intensity? What happens here is more number of photons are available. So say I am saying some 8 photons are emitted, but the energy of photon still remains same. Right. So what happens if the number of photons increases, then more number of electrons are emitted, but their kinetic energy will remain same. Why? Because kinetic energy depends upon energy of absorbed photon. Here the energy of absorbed photon is 2 calories. Here also the energy of absorbed photon is 2 calories. So since it is not changing, kinetic energy will not change. So the conclusion is kinetic energy of photoelectrons is independent of intensity. Kinetic energy of photoelectrons is independent of intensity of incident radiation. So the correct answer is option A. But let us study option B. So here this straight line parallel to x-axis indicates that kinetic energy is independent of intensity of incident radiation. Kinetic energy will not change because kinetic energy depends upon what? Energy of photon equal to work function plus kinetic energy. Let us assume that work function is 1 calorie. Whether you take this one or this one, the work function will depend upon nature of metal. I am taking the same metal, therefore work function is constant. In the first case, the energy of photon is 2 calories. So work function is 1 calorie. Kinetic energy, the remaining 1 calorie will be utilized to increase kinetic energy. This 1 calorie will be utilized. In the case of second case, the energy of photon equal to work function plus kinetic energy. When I increase the intensity, number of photons increases. So more number of photons are available, more number of electrons will be emitted, but energy of photon will remain same. Let us see how. The energy of photon is 2 calories. Work function is 1 calorie because I am using same metal. The remaining 1 calorie will be utilized to increase the kinetic energy. So here and here the energy used to increase kinetic energy is same. So kinetic energy will not change when you increase the intensity because the energy of photon remains same. That is why it is parallel to x-axis. Whatever the intensity you increase, kinetic energy of photoelectrons will not increase. Coming to this frequency. Now again energy is proportional to frequency, inversely proportional to wavelength. Energy is proportional to frequency, inversely proportional to wavelength. When I increase energy or frequency, what happens? Say 6 photons are emitted, 2 calories. I am increasing energy or frequency of incident radiation. I am increasing energy or frequency of incident radiation. What is the meaning of that? The meaning is the energy of each photon will increase, but number of photons remains same. How many photons are emitted per unit time? 6. Let us write 6 photons are available here. When I increase the energy, what happens? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here also you will get 6 photons per unit time. But the energy of each photon, let us say 4 calories. Energy of each photon is increased. Say work function is 1 calorie. I am taking a metal whose work function is 1 calorie. Now, in the first case, here before increasing, energy of photon equal to work function plus kinetic energy. Energy of photon available is 2 calories. Work function is 1 calorie. So, how much energy is left over here? 1 calorie. This 1 calorie will be utilized to increase kinetic energy. But when I increase the energy or frequency, the energy of each photon will increase. So, what happens now? Energy of photon equal to work function plus kinetic energy. I am using same metal, so work function will be same. But how much energy? What is the energy of photon now? 4 calories. So out of 4 calories, 1 calorie is used, leftover is 3 calories. So these 3 calories will be utilized to increase the kinetic energy. How much energy is available? 1 here. How much energy is available? 3. So when I increase the energy or frequency of incident radiation, then kinetic energy increases, because the energy available is more. The extra energy is utilized to increase the kinetic energy. That means kinetic energy of photoelectrons. Kinetic energy of photoelectrons is directly proportional to energy or frequency of incident radiation. They are directly if they are directly proportional, that means it changes linearly. So the expected graph should be a straight line. But what we have here is a straight line parallel to x-axis. You will get a straight line with some slope, but here the given line is straight line parallel to x-axis, which makes that kinetic energy is independent of frequency. But what we got is kinetic energy is directly proportional to frequency. So this is not correct answer. Coming to wavelength, if it is proportional to frequency, it is also related to wavelength. It is also related to wavelength, right? So if frequency increases, wavelength decreases. So they are related, right? So you will not get a straight line. Next, surface area of metal. Whether you take smaller surface area, larger surface area, the kinetic energy does not depend upon surface area. The kinetic energy depends upon energy of photon. Higher the energy of photon, more extra energy will be left over, which will be utilized to increase the kinetic energy. So no way it depends upon surface area. So yes. So correct option is option A. Next one. Select the correct plots for photoelectric current. What is photoelectric current? The current flowing in the circuit when the metal is connected and exposed to light radiation. When light falls on it, instantaneously, spontaneously, electrons are emitted. These electrons carry current. So the photoelectric current is directly proportional to number of photoelectrons. More the number of photoelectrons, more will be the photoelectric current. So here photoelectric current, you can read it as number of photoelectrons. How number of photoelectrons depends upon frequency of incident radiation, wavelength, intensity. Let us see. Already we have studied this point. So when you increase intensity, what happens? So initially frequency is given, so let us take frequency. So if you increase the frequency of incident radiation, that means the energy of photon will increase, but number of photons remains same. Here I am taking 6 photons per unit time. When I increase the frequency, what happens? Number of photons will remain same, but energy of photon increases. Now recollect, 1 electron absorbs 1 photon. Here how many electrons will be emitted per at a given instant? 6 photons. 6 photons will be absorbed by 6 electrons. 6 electrons are emitted. Here also at a given instant 6 photons are available. 6 photons will be absorbed by 6 electrons and 6 electrons are available. That means the number of photoelectrons here and here they are same. So the photoelectric current will be same, it will not be altered. So number of photoelectrons is independent of energy or frequency of incident radiation. So number of photoelectrons emitted is independent. How to remember? 1 electron at a given instant absorbs 1 photon. 6 photons are available. So at a given instant 6 photoelectrons are emitted. When I increase the frequency, energy of photon increases. That means these photons have more kinetic energy, but at any instant 6 photons are available. So 6 electrons will be emitted. The number of electrons here and here they are same. So number of photoelectrons emitted is independent of energy or frequency of incident radiation. What is the difference? Here it has less kinetic energy, here they have more kinetic energy. Coming to intensity. So increasing intensity means increasing number of photoelectrons. So 6 photons are available. Intensity is increased. Intensity of incident radiation is increased. I am increasing the intensity. Then what happens? What happens here is the energy of photoelectrons will be same. So here also you will get 2 calories, but instead of that, say you got 8 photons. At a given time, 6 photons are falling on the metal. 6 photons are available. Each electron absorbs 1 photon, therefore 6 electrons are available. When I increase the intensity, at a given instant, 8 photons are available. Right? So 8 photons are absorbed by 8 electrons, so number of photoelectrons are increasing. More the number of photoelectrons, more will be the photoelectric current. So number of photoelectrons is directly proportional to intensity of incident radiation. So in the first graph, photoelectric current, nothing but number of photoelectrons is, so here you got a straight line, that means they should be directly related, but what we got, they are independent. So this is not correct. Second option, photoelectric current, you got a linear line, it is directly proportional to intensity of incident radiation, that is correct. So this is correct option. Next, wavelength. So if it is independent of frequency, then it must be independent of wavelength. So you have to get a straight line parallel to x-axis here and here. So this is also not correct. Photoelectric current is independent of, it is straight line parallel to x-axis. That means whatever you do, the frequency, the photoelectric current is not going to alter. So this is correct. It indicates that photoelectric current is independent of frequency. So you will get C and D options. Next problem. The work function of some metals is listed below. So here metals, these are the different metals: lithium, sodium, potassium, magnesium, copper, silver, iron, platinum, tungsten. So their work functions are given in electron volt, right? So if I take these metals separately one by one, and if I use a light radiation of wavelength 300 nanometers, so you have to identify the number of metals from which electrons are emitted, or the number of metals which are sensitive to this light radiation, which show photosensitivity to this light radiation. So let us recollect. First, I would like to explain the meaning of electron volt. Electron volt, EV. So it is the amount of energy gained when an electron is placed, amount of energy gained when an electron is placed under a potential difference of 1 volt. So when I separate these charges, the potential difference that exists is 1 volt. So when electron is placed here, it will interact with the field, so it will move. The energy gained by it, the energy gained by single electron under a potential difference of 1 volt, we call it as 1 electron volt. So how to calculate 1 electron volt? Energy gained by one single electron. Why it is gains electron? It is interacting with the applied field. Why it is interacting? Because it carries a net negative charge. How much? Magnitude we are taking 1.602 into 10 power minus 19 coulombs. Negative doesn't mean that it is minus value, it indicates that it is oppositely charged. So what is the charge on the electron? 1.602 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb into applied potential, that is 1 volt. So what I will get is 1.602 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb volt. 1 coulomb volt is nothing but 1 joule. So 1 coulomb volt is nothing but 1 joule. So 1 electron volt is equal to 1.602 into 10 power minus 19 joules. So this is about the story of EV electron volt. Now let us study the conditions. So in the last class we have studied that energy of photon is used in two ways to overcome the minimum to supply the required minimum energy and to increase the kinetic energy. For a metal to show photoelectric effect, that means to emit electrons, the energy of absorbed photons should be equal to or greater than work function. Equal to or greater than work function. So the minimum energy is equal to that of work function. So energy of photon should be greater than or equal to work function. Minimum energy is nothing but equal to that of work function of the metal. So let us find the minimum energy required. Minimum energy required. So wavelength is given. How do you find energy of photon? hc by lambda. So now lambda must be substituted in meters. 300 nanometers is nothing but 3 into 10 power minus 7 meters. So you will get answer in which units? Let us see. Meter, meter, second, second inverse. So leftover unit is joules. You will get answer in joules. But here to compare what we require? Electron volt. So this is equal to what? 6.625 into 10 power minus 19 joules. So let us convert it into 1 in electron volts. So these many joules equal to 1 electron volt. How many joules we have? 6.625. So into 10 power minus 19. So converting into electron volt. You will get in electron volt. So approximately it will be around 4.13 eV. This is the minimum energy which the light radiation can provide. So if I take lithium, what is the minimum energy for lithium? 2.4. What is the energy of photon associated? 4.13. So this photon possesses 4.13. The minimum energy required for lithium is 2.4. 2.4 is less than 4.13. Therefore, lithium will show photoelectric effect. Because the work function is less than energy of photon. Next, sodium. Sodium work function is 2.3. 2.3 is less than energy of photon. Therefore, here also sodium shows. Potassium much lesser, so it will show. Magnesium 3.7. 3.7 is less than 4.13, so it will show. Copper 4.8. 4.8 is greater than 4.13. The energy of photon is not sufficient enough to provide the minimum energy required to knock out the electron in the case of copper. So it will not show. It will not show. None of these elements will show because their work function is greater than the energy of photon. Therefore, how many elements? 1, 2, 3, 4. So total 4 metals can show. 4 metals can show. Next question. Calculate the kinetic energy of photoelectrons emitted by sodium metal when light of wavelength 400 nanometer is incident on it. So what we are doing is we are taking sodium metal. On this sodium metal, light is made to fall. light is made to fall. So wavelength is provided 400 nanometers. So this is 4 into 10 power minus 7 meters, right? And even the work function of metal is given. This is the information given. This is nothing but 2.28 electron volts. So 2.28 electron volts means 2.28 into 1 electron volt. 1 electron volt is 1.602 into 10 power minus 19 joules. 2.28 into 1 electron volt. 1 electron volt equal to 1.602 into 10 power minus 19 joules. So this is the information given. What we have to do? Calculate the kinetic energy. We have to find the kinetic energy. So what is the equation? Energy of photon is equal to work function plus kinetic energy. So kinetic energy equal to energy of photon minus work function. Energy of photon, wavelength is given. So I am writing in wavelength hc by lambda minus work function. When I can use these two quantities, when I can subtract these two quantities if they are present in the same unit. So I will try to express them in SI units. So what is H value? 6.625 into 10 power minus 34 joules second. C, velocity of light, that is 3 into 10 power 8 meters second inverse. Wavelength must be in meters. Already we have calculated, that is 400 nanometers, which is equal to 4 into 10 power minus 7 meters. So minus work function. Work function already we have calculated here. This is 2.28 into 10 power minus 19 joules. So let us see what we will get the units. Meter, second inverse. Left over is joules. So this entire thing is in joules. This is also in joules. So I can subtract. So this is 3 by 4 or 0.75. 6.625 into 0.75 into 10 power minus 19 joules minus 2.28 into 10 power minus 19 joules. So I have to do the simplification. So approximately you will get 1.35 into 10 power minus 19 joules. Right. So here we missed this 1.602 here. So make a correction, 2.28 into 1.602 into 10 power minus 19. So here also I will get 2.28 into 1.602. So if I multiply these two and this, approximately you will get 1.1315, something like that, or 1.13 into 10 power minus 19 joules. So coming to the second part, calculate the value of longest wavelength. So energy is inversely proportional to lambda. Longest wavelength means, since they are inversely proportional, lowest energy. So what is the lowest possible energy for photoelectric emission? Energy of photon must be equal to work function. Energy of photon must be equal to work function. So the photon has to provide a energy approximately equal to 2.28 into 1.602 into 10 power minus 19. So photon with this energy, the wavelength of photon with this energy will be the longest wavelength, because energy is inversely proportional to wavelength. You require longest wavelength, that means lowest energy, because they are inversely proportional. Now lowest possible energy for photoelectric emission, the required condition is energy of photon must be equal to work function of the metal. What is the metal we are taking? Sodium. The work function of sodium is 2.28 electron volts, nothing but 2.28 into 1.602 into 10 power minus 19 joules. So using this relation, what I have to find is wavelength. So energy work function equal to minimum energy equal to hc by lambda, longest wavelength. So lambda equal to 2.28 into 1.602 into 10 power minus 19, this one, by Hc by lambda. H value is 6.625 into 10 power minus 34 joules second. Velocity of light 3 into 10 power 8 meters second inverse. So this is will be in joules. Now let us cancel the units. Joule. Mali reverse. Sorry. So lambda equal to E Hc by minimum energy, which is equal to Hc by pi. So substituting the values, 6.625 into 10 power minus 34 joule second, 3 into 10 power 8 meter second inverse, 2.28 into 1.602 into 10 power minus 19 joules. Now let us cancel the units. Now you will get the answer. Joules second inverse, units will be left over, meters. So wavelength you will get in meters. -3 here, 34.8. So upon simplification, approximately you will get 550 nanometers. Certain metal was irradiated with light of frequency, so 1.6 into 10 power 16 hertz. The photoelectrons emitted has twice the kinetic energy as photoelectrons emitted when same metal was irradiated. Okay, so here I am taking a metal, it is exposed to light radiation. Right here the frequency of light radiation is given, how much? 1.6 into 10 power 16 hertz. The same metal is used here when it is exposed to light radiation of frequency, let us say 1 into 10 power 16 hertz. In both case metal is same, therefore work function is same or threshold frequency is same. Next, as you come back here, the photoelectrons emitted had twice the kinetic energy. Let us assume the kinetic energy in the first case as E, the kinetic energy emitted in the second case as E, then this will be 2E. The photoelectrons emitted had twice the kinetic energy as photoelectrons emitted. Here the photoelectrons are emitted with kinetic energy E. So in the first case it must be twice of that E, so it becomes 2E. So let us write the equation for this one and this one separately, then we can find nu naught. So for first case what I will get, energy of photon equal to work function plus kinetic energy. Right, so energy of photon h nu 1 h nu naught plus kinetic energy as E, so sorry 2E. 2E equal to h nu 1 minus h nu naught. Let us call this as equation 1. In the second case, energy of photon equal to work function plus kinetic energy. Energy of photon is h nu 2, work function h nu naught, because metal is same. Kinetic energy we assumed it as E in the second case. So let us write for E, kinetic energy h nu 2 minus nu naught. Let us call this as equation 2. So our aim is to find nu naught. So in the place of E, I will substitute this equation here from 192. So substitute here, what I will get 2 h nu 2 minus h nu naught equal to h nu 1 minus h nu naught. So we can cancel h by taking common. So 2 nu 2 minus 2 nu naught equal to nu 1 minus nu naught. So we require nu naught. So what is nu 2? Nu 2 is 1 into 10 power 16, 2 into 1 into 10 power 16 hertz minus nu 1, 1.6 into 10 power 16 hertz. So 2 minus 1.6, that is 0.4 into 10 power 16, 4 into 10 power 15